There are 9 foods your grandparents ate every single day that will not raise your blood sugar. Not one of them comes in a box. Not one of them has a barcode. Every single one of them was sitting in kitchens across America long before blood sugar problems became one of the most common health conditions in the country. Stay until the end. I am going to give you the single most important tip that changes how you think about everything on this list. Number 9, eggs. Your grandparents did not have a nutrition label on their eggs. They had chickens. An egg contains almost 0 carbohydrates. That means it has almost no ability to raise your blood sugar at all. Each egg delivers around 6 grams of complete protein, along with choline, B vitamins, and vitamin D. The protein and fat in eggs slow digestion and help keep blood glucose steady for hours after eating. Here's the myth worth busting. For decades, people were told to throw away the yolk. The yolk is the most nutritious part of the egg. The choline alone in a single egg yolk supports brain function and liver health in ways that the white cannot. Your grandparents ate the whole egg, fried in a little fat, every morning of their lives. They did not have a blood sugar problem. Number 8, walnuts and peanuts. Nuts were not a snack your grandparents bought in a resealable foil bag from a gas station shelf. They were a handful pulled from a jar on the kitchen counter. Peanuts and walnuts are rich in healthy, unsaturated fats, protein, and fiber. That combination slows the absorption of carbohydrates eaten alongside them, and it helps keep blood glucose from spiking after a meal. A small handful of peanuts costs almost nothing. A small handful of walnuts eaten before a carbohydrate-heavy meal has been shown in multiple studies to meaningfully reduce the blood sugar response to that meal. The key word is moderation. Nuts are calorie-dense. A handful is a portion. Your grandparents ate them that way and did not need a warning label to figure it out. Number 7, dark leafy greens. Collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, spinach. Every working kitchen in the rural South, the Midwest, and Appalachia had a pot of greens on the stove several nights a week. These vegetables are almost entirely non-starchy. They contain so few carbohydrates that they have essentially no capacity to raise blood sugar. They are loaded with magnesium, a mineral that plays a direct role in insulin sensitivity. Low magnesium is one of the most common nutritional deficiencies in adults with blood sugar problems. It is also one of the least discussed. A pot of collard greens with a ham hock cost pennies and delivered more magnesium than most modern supplements. Your grandparents cooked them because they tasted good. The blood sugar benefit came along for free. Number 6, chicken and fish. Lean protein from chicken or fish contains essentially no carbohydrates. It does not raise blood sugar. It provides the raw material for muscle, immune function, and cellular repair. Your grandparents did not eat skinless chicken breast from a vacuum-sealed plastic tray. They ate the whole bird, roasted or stewed, with the fat left on. The fat is not the problem. The breaded coating, the sugary marinades, and the processed sauces are the problem. A plain piece of roasted chicken with the skin on has a glycemic impact of almost 0. Before we get to the top 5, I want to ask you something. If even one food on this list surprised you, share this video with someone who needs it. There are people managing blood sugar every day who have never been told any of this. The 5 foods coming up include one that most people are told to completely avoid, and one that your grandparents kept on the counter every single morning. Number 5, tomatoes. Tomatoes are low in carbohydrates and low on the glycemic index. That means they digest slowly and release glucose into the bloodstream gradually, rather than all at once. They are rich in lycopene, an antioxidant with well-documented benefits for cardiovascular health. That matters because blood sugar problems and heart health are closely linked. Your grandparents grew them in the garden, sliced them fresh onto the plate, and stewed them into sauces that simmered for hours. None of those preparation methods spike blood sugar. The version that does spike blood sugar is the sugary ketchup and the sweet canned tomato sauce that replaced homemade cooking in most households from the 1960s onward. Number 4, beans and lentils. This one surprises people because beans contain carbohydrates. Yes, they do. But they also contain a very high amount of soluble fiber and protein. That combination dramatically slows the release of glucose from those carbohydrates into the bloodstream. Beans have one of the lowest glycemic index values of any carbohydrate-containing food. A bowl of lentil soup or pinto beans with cornbread was a complete meal for generations of working Americans. It cost almost nothing, and it kept blood sugar remarkably stable. The idea that people with diabetes cannot eat beans is one of the most persistent and damaging nutritional myths circulating today. Your grandparents ate beans several times a week because they were cheap and filling. It turns out those were not the only reasons. Number 3. O8s. Not the instant flavored packets and not the quick oats in the cardboard tube with the sugar coating. The thick rolled or steel cut oats your grandparents cooked low and slow on the stovetop every morning. Whole oats contain a soluble fiber called beta-glucan that forms a gel in the digestive tract and physically slows the absorption of glucose. Studies consistently show that thick-rolled and steel-cut oats have a glycemic index roughly half that of processed breakfast cereals. The key is preparation. The more processed the oat, the faster it digests, and the faster it raises blood sugar. Your grandparents cooked their oatmeal for 20 minutes because the slower preparation preserved the fiber structure that controls the blood sugar response. They did not know the biochemistry, they just cooked it the right way. Number 2, coffee. This one genuinely surprises people. Plain coffee contains almost no carbohydrates, and it does not raise blood sugar. Research published in peer-reviewed journals found that people who drank up to 3 cups of plain brewed coffee per day had a meaningfully lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to non-coffee drinkers. Coffee contains antioxidants and compounds that appear to support insulin sensitivity. Your grandparents drank coffee every morning from a percolator on the stove. They did not add flavored syrups, caramel sauce, or sweetened creamers. They drank it black or with a small amount of milk. That version does not raise blood sugar. The version sold in most coffee chains today absolutely does raise blood sugar. Number 1, apple cider vinegar. Your grandparents kept a bottle of it in the pantry and used it for everything from salad dressing to a morning tonic stirred into a glass of water. Raw apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid. Research has shown that acetic acid can reduce the blood sugar spike after a carbohydrate-containing meal by slowing the rate at which the stomach empties into the small intestine. Several studies have found that taking 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in water before a meal can meaningfully reduce the post-meal glucose rise in people with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. It is not a miracle. It is not a cure. But it is a cheap, practical, centuries-old tool for blood sugar management. It costs less than $2 a bottle and has been sitting in American kitchens since before anyone had heard of metformin. Now here is the golden tip. This is the most important thing in this entire video. Everything on this list is a starting point. It is not a prescription. Blood sugar management is individual. What one person can eat without any blood sugar response can raise another person's glucose significantly. Your grandparents did not eat these foods because a doctor told them to. They ate them because they were real, they were available, and they worked for their bodies over a lifetime of observation. The most powerful thing you can do right now is start paying attention the same way. A glucometer is a small device that tests blood sugar with a finger prick. It costs around $20 at most pharmacies. Test your blood sugar before eating something. Test it again 2 hours after. A reading under 140 when measured 2 hours after a meal is a healthy response in someone without diabetes. In someone with diabetes, under 180 is the target. That one practice, done consistently, will teach you more about your own blood sugar than any list of 9 foods ever could. Your grandparents paid attention to how they felt. That was their golden tip. It is still the best one available.